Welcome to the Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wowing the world over the platform they deserve. I am your host, Nathan Ragland, and as we hearken ourselves closer to the hallowing hours of Halloween, it is time for me to introduce you to another horrifying creature. Returning guests! Jesus Christ, you're really stretching here, aren't you? Today we have Ace Smith, a artist that we featured in Amateur April, who, since his appearance, has turned out 4 incredible EPs. It was great to catch back up with Ace, and honestly, the conversation we had was super chaotic and really just turned to a bunch of rambling at some points, but it's one that I hope you enjoyed nevertheless. If you do enjoy the podcast and you enjoy Ace, make sure you support him in the links down below. Plus, there'll be a link to his previous episode in case you hadn't heard that one before. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you support it by liking, sharing, subscribing, or commenting your favorite part. Or just leave a 5-star review and telling me your favorite parts and what you enjoy about the podcast. If it's nice enough, I might bring it up on the podcast. It's a thought. I'm still tinkering with what I want to do with this podcast and stuff. But then again, what podcast host isn't? If you want to go one step further, you can go to the merch shop at pmap.creator-spring.com and check out some of the incredible streetwear there for you. In fact, you have about 1 week left before the special deal using the code PMAP1 is over, which means you'll miss out on getting 25% off of your order. Finally, if you enjoy this podcast and want a nice place to go and talk about it or just share memes with other people that love this podcast and other outstanding ones in the podcast network, you should join the Apocalypse Podcast Network Discord server. We're more than willing to accept many more people just so we can talk about just the incredible podcast that we have before you. In fact, let's hear a word about another tantalizing podcast in the Apocalypse Podcast Network.
Whispering Hunties. Oh my god.
What?
Hi, I'm Mijan.
And I'm Nick.
And you're listening to Whispering Hunties, a global queer culture drag and drag race podcast. We love the TV show,
But we're also working to build a space to celebrate and learn about local drag scenes, queer artists and creatives, designers, queer communities around the world, queer allies, and the effects of COVID-19 on queer spaces.
basically. Every week, we learn about queer culture and then have a kiki about our favorite TV show.
So get ready for insight. This has been kind of like the best challenge of the season, I feel like.
And a little bit of shade.
It gets annoying because she's like, I didn't think I was in the bottom. It's like, you were in the bottom.
And a whole lot of love.
I love you all.
Love you. Good chat.
Tune in wherever you listen to your podcast and join the kiki sometime.
I think I'm going to industry tonight after Black Widow.
Thanks for the invite, Nick. It's fine.
Come to industry.
No,
Come to industry tonight.
No.
You see me make out with a hot little guy.
Too late. Too late.
And now, without further ado, please enjoy the Postmodern Art Podcast.
I love when my computer decides to fall apart at random intervals.
I love it when my life decides to fall apart at random intervals.
So true.
So aside from existential crisis on both of our ends, how are you doing today?
Hello.
Hello.
I don't know what part of this was where the podcast began.
This is the chit chat that we were just gonna have beforehand or whatnot. This isn't the...
We've been doing this for like 15 minutes.
And?
Are there going to be 15 minutes of chit chat?
Well, no, I edited it down somewhat, so it's not like it'll be like.
I mean, you said that last time, and then you left in a segment where my brother came into my room.
That was just like what, 30 seconds or something like that. There were some other parts I did edit. That was just the one part. No, trust me, my editing has only gotten worse. That's the sad part.
Rest in peace.
Now, what was it? There was an episode that I did. I don't know how caught up you are if you kept listening to the podcast. There's an episode I did with David De Pasquale, who was a character.
I had not heard that one.
Fair enough. He was a character designer for Arlo the Alligator Boy, among other things. Well, I recorded his podcast like on a weekend, and then I realized when I was going to release it the following day, like the series that went along with that movie, I Heart Arlo, was going to be released. So I told him, like, after the little intro bit, I told him, like, hey, I'm going to edit this part out, but I'm going to go ahead and say that the series is coming out tomorrow. So I didn't want you to get thrown off by that. I was supposed to edit that part out. I didn't edit it out.
I did not see this fantabulous plot twist coming. I've now moved Discord onto my other screen so I can look at you and look at my camera.
There you go.
Like this, instead of like this, as I was.
No, you don't want to get some good neck exercises in there?
Not particularly.
Fair enough.
One does not come onto the podcast sphere to do exercise.
I'm sure there's got to be like some exercise podcast out there or something like something to motivate people, like in podcast form. I'm sure there's got to be like something out there.
What would I like the concept of like an exercise podcast, something you put on while you're on the treadmill, the same way people like put on exercise music.
Yeah.
But instead of that, it's like exercise. This is a podcast about it.
I'm pretty sure we're just one step away from like the Peloton, which does basically like the virtual
new in
classes.
Treadmills.
Ladies and
All the
gentlemen,
new barbells and lifting machines of this year's fucking generation.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Postmodern Exercise Podcast.
Are you ready to get gains?
Get gains with these 5 new hot exercises that we dug up from a classic guide from the 1930s.
There's only one question. Do you want to get jacked or do you want to get yoked?
Well, you see, my name's not Jack, so I have to get yoked.
Is your name Yoke? Have you been an egg the entire time, carefully disguised as a human being?
So about those exercises. Oh, good Lord. By the way, I'll go ahead and give you the heads up. I think I gave it last time, but just to refresh, one, I apologize for any background noise.
But don't worry, if you're experiencing background noise issues, you, in only 20 long excruciating minutes, can download Crisp.ai, the noise suppression software that is not sponsoring today's episode.
Yeah, I'd be fine.
I was going to say sponsoring, but then I figured you might get sued.
Yeah, I'd be fine if they wanted to sponsor me, or if anyone wanted to sponsor me, please. This is a call for help. No, I'm joking.
Do it. Vouch.
There you go. See, your ad could easily go right here, almost in a flawless conversation, just like name product here. Name product here. Okay, the bit.
Audible.com.
There we go.
The ease of which you can insert your ad into this podcast reminds me of the ease that I can make a website with Squarespace.
Goodness. Just like the ease of, what is it? Water. There you go. There's a sponsor. I'm sponsored by Olive Water.
This episode is sponsored by those little lemonade packets that you put in water to make it not taste like water.
Oh, you mean like name product here.
I feel like you're not committing to this as hard as I am. You're going too generic. I go hard on it. I name the products. I commit to the bit.
Okay, fine. You mean like
I get sued.
Yes, please.
If you're not willing to stand up for your podcast in a court of law, then like what even is going on around here?
Well, in that case, I would need some financial help from today's sponsor. No, I'm joking.
If you would like to help me pay my court fees, please put your ad sponsorship right here.
Goodness. I needed this quick little laugh. Are you ready on your end? Because if you are, I'll do a clap 3, 2, 1, and then we can jump right in with the icebreaker.
I thought we were already in the podcast.
I mean, we technically were, but not really. But yeah, no. We're
How many of these are we gonna do? When does the podcast start? We're in the podcast inception. Oh my god, we never left the podcast beginning bit.
I'm dead.
Now listen here. You can take this pill, and you'll keep staying in the intro land, the land of of funny banter and random icebreakers, or you can take this pill, and the world of podcast will unfold before you.
Which one gets me a sponsored deal by Viagra?
Who is Viagra within the context of the Matrix?
I mean, technically, they are the blue pills, so. Or you can go to BlueChew.com to get your.
No. God, I haven't seen one of those ads in forever.
I listen to podcasts all the time. Especially, there's one that I listen to, Hey Babe, that has Sal Vulcano and Krista. Was it Krista Stefano? Yeah, and yeah, they like every single episode of the podcast. There's like at least 3 or 4 different ad breaks in between, or like that.
Yeah, my thing is usually piracy sites that I go on, that I never go on. But if I did, I feel like there would be some of those advertisements there because they can't exactly hire normal advertisers because they're piracy sites.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't know what one of these piracy sites were, but I would imagine that some of the ads they would get kind of goes along with the same branding as, you know, the fact that it's piracy.
This episode sponsored by the Pirate Bay.
You know what? I will take that sponsorship. You joke about that. I'd take it.
Aren't they like old news now?
They probably are. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like they're still around. I could be very, very, very wrong.
Is it like getting sponsored by, you know, fucking the Pirate Bay? Isn't that like the same thing as getting, you know, an endorsement deal from like a washed up 2000s pop star?
Damn, you're just hitting hard today, aren't you? Okay. I didn't even think of it like that, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm sure there's like
I only come with the hard-hitting truths. I go on podcasts to speak truth to power. I'm wearing an Among Us shirt
you are
that I designed myself.
Oh, you designed that one yourself? Okay.
It's from Jackbox.
There
Played a
you
game
go.
of Jackbox, and I got the whole shirt says "If you die, you die," and the reason I ordered it is because this is both my drawing and my caption, and somebody decided to combine them.
Oh, wonderful. What was it? There was one Sorry.
I didn't write them with the intent of being combined. I just drew Among Us guy because I like drawing Among Us guys, and I wrote "If you die, you die" in the captions because my method of captions when I play Jackbox, and it says type as many captions here and we'll give them to other players to use them, is to type anything that I can possibly think of as much as possible.
I mean, that's
so somebody made this Among Us shirt, and then I bought it, and it's the only one in the world.
Fair enough. I was gonna say there was one that I had or have somewhere that's just like a poorly drawn smiley face, and under it says "Here comes the disappointment." So there you go. I think that's the only one in the world. So there you go.
Go on, Nathan. Shatter my ice.
Okay then. All right, Ace. It's been a while since you've been here, so I'm glad to tell you that since your previous appearance, we have a new icebreaker question that we have on the podcast now. So, let's say you are going to a deserted island on your own accord. It's just you there, no one else. You get to bring one piece of art or one piece of media to bring with you to help make sure you don't go completely insane on the island. What is the one thing you bring with you?
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
See, I normally the whenever I have that question asked, I've only heard it asked in the vein of if you had one artist discography to bring along with you, who would you listen to? My answer would be Kanye.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's got that's a lot of albums, but it's a lot of albums and I like all of them. That can't be said for most artists with a lot of albums.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got I feel like the answer to go with is a really big book.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain I still have somewhere a collection of every Jules Verne book packaged into one big book.
Okay.
I feel like that could keep me going for a while.
I mean, is that what you want to stick with? Because I mean, how familiar are you with Jules's work? I don't know how many of the books you've actually read, or if you've read all of them.
I read a couple of them when I was 13 and didn't get it because I was 13.
You know what? Fair. And when you're on this desert island, maybe you can find a way to explore yourself a little bit, or at least just make sure you don't go insane. That's
yeah.
the
Maybe
key.
maybe I should get like Hatchet.
There
really
you go.
understand the guy. Rest in peace, Gary Paulson. By the way, he just died
Oh, I did not hear that. Honestly,
just a couple days ago.
Oh wow, goodness, shows you how behind in media I am. But nevertheless, a really big book with like collection
Really,
of stories and stuff. Are you locking in that answer? That's what you're bringing with you.
Really great for the host of a postmodern art podcast to be behind on media. I like that it's phrased like it's a game show. Like there's a right and a wrong answer, and I'm locking in mine now and hoping that I win the $1 million. Yeah, I would bring a big book.
Look, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to explore how to transition from that into welcoming everyone to the Postmodern Art Podcast. Welcome everyone.
It's only been 30 minutes.
In our time, there's gonna be a few edits. Trust me. Anyways,
That's what they all say.
Look, I'm sorry I messed up last time. I apologize.
I'll never forgive you.
You'll never forget me then.
That's what they say.
There you go.
You got me there.
Anyways, welcome everyone. I'm your host, Nathan Ragland. Feel free to subscribe or follow whatever streaming platform you prefer. I'm a part of the...
Don't feel free. You must. You have to. It's not negotiable. Do it.
I'm a part of the Apocalypse Podcast Network. Go to apocalypsepodcastnetwork.com to see more about this podcast and other outstanding ones in the network. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PostmodArtPod for future updates and guest announcements, including today's guest, a former guest on the podcast who since their appearance has released 3 EPs, among other things. Welcome back to the 4 EPs. I apologize. Welcome back to the podcast, Ace Smith.
It's me?
Yeah.
Well. Hello. Hi, everybody.
I hope you're doing well. It's been a minute.
Just informing everybody who's listening to one of the audio-only versions of this podcast that you're missing out in general.
I mean,
I do a whole lot of funny little reactions. It was great. I'm also pink and green right now.
Right, which is very similar to one of your EPs, which we will definitely talk about here in a second. Well, actually, might as well just go ahead and jump onto it, because we already had the whole entire backstory, how you got interested and all that kind of stuff. It's a wonderful discussion. I'll be sure to link it down below to make sure everyone gets a chance to hear it, because it was a great podcast. I still remember it fondly. I don't know about you, but...
I forgot what happened.
I forgot to edit one part of it, which you keep wanting to bring
Oh, right. Thank you. I was about to forget it, but now I'll make sure to remember it forever.
But like I said before, since your appearance, you've released 4 EPs. My first question to you, more than anything else, is where in the world do you find the time for that?
I just have it. I wanted to release more since then.
You wanted to release more? Like, give me
I've had more planned that I didn't get finished.
Like, give me like a rough estimate. Like, if you had all the time in the world by this point, what would have been released?
7.
7? Okay. That's still, like, even...
I wanted to do, like, one every month, and then that didn't happen.
I mean, even then, still, what you've released so far, I mean, my God. I mean, the first one I want to go ahead and talk about is one that we kind of teased in your previous appearance as Transhumanist. I have since, obviously, had the opportunity to sit down and listen to it. I love, like, the vibe you're trying to go with this one, just more of like a chill thing. What were you exactly trying to go for with this EP?
Well, it is a sequel to Biohacker, the EP that we discussed last time, because it was my most recent release and the only thing I'd released in like a year, as I was about to put out Transhumanist but hadn't yet. It originally just started as like just me throwing together a bunch of random bullshit that I'd made, and I was like, I want to put these out, which is kind of what I did with Biohacker. But then while that happened, Porter Robinson released his album Nurture, and I listened to it, and it really inspired me a lot. And I was like, what if I like structured this? And then I did that, and that's why it is the way it is.
There we go.
It's also the reason that there's like that front cover, which I designed before I listened to Nurture, and then the back cover, which I designed after I listened to Nurture, and you can tell.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can certainly tell, even just with like the vibe you were trying to go for with it, like especially that the way you finish off with Idolize, which is hands down my favorite track on the EP, like straight up.
It's
like,
the best song. It's the best song I've ever made.
in your opinion?
That's what. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, because I mean, again, you've released a couple more EPs, and we definitely got a lot more to talk about with that.
Yeah.
I
think that I haven't topped Idolize.
I mean, it depends on what you're trying to go for. I mean, that for me personally, again, that I will agree with you, but at the same time, one, you've got a couple more EPs, but two, you also got some stuff you haven't let out in the world yet. Who knows? Maybe one of them could be the best. I'm sure. But then, around the same time that you released Transhumanist, you just out of nowhere is like, okay, confessions from your LimeWire download folder. Like, was this?
Yeah, that one was really fun, because I didn't plan that one in advance.
Like that was the part that was like just trying to get me like I know you didn't plan on releasing it in advance, but like how long were you like tinkering with like the tracks on that one?
I didn't plan on making it in advance. I started it as I was finishing Transhumanist, and all the songs on it I created in that 2-week period. I was really just everything was just flowing. It was perfect.
I'm impressed if I do say so.
Yeah, it's I think as far as releases go, I think that is probably my favorite one that I've done, just because there's like a lot of songs on it and all of them are like me singing and playing instruments and shit. Well, instruments playing, but
right. But I mean, even then, like not only that, like it's you singing on it, and on top of that, like I love the filter you kind of added with all these or whatnot to give it kind of a almost like a nostalgic feel to it. Like I'm listening to it on like an old phone or something along the lines of that.
Yeah, the genre is called Hex.
Hex. There you go. How did you become aware of that genre, and why did you want to tinker with that?
I've been aware of it for a while, and then like recently, like more people started doing it, just like applying like stuff from the genre to their to like what they were doing, just in general, because that's like a lot of music right now is just a lot of people taking tons of elements from dozens of disparate genres and then putting them all together into a song. And it's one of the reasons why hyperpop as a thing is so like undefinable, because it's more like it's more of just like a coalition of feelings than a sound.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people, for example, my friend Whoop-Doo, they started putting like a Bit Crusher on all their masters, and they just do that now.
Mm. Okay.
And that happened around that time. And yeah, I got interested in it, and then I like made one song. I made the first song on it, Windows Down, You Don't Want to Be Seen. And then I made a bunch more, and then I released them.
Not just release. It was like I made them, and then there it is. There you go, people. Enjoy it.
Like yeah, it's fun. I'm actually backed up because I want to make a music video for 2 of the songs on that. I also have been working on that stagnated an Idolized music video, a couple music videos that I haven't put out yet. That I'd like, hey, here's this music video for this 5-month-old song.
I mean,
this makes sense.
I mean, what was it? One Designer's Panda like have a music video only whenever it like reached to number 1, like it didn't have a music video beforehand.
Happens.
It happens. But I mean, nevertheless, like, you know, both the songs you definitely listed are good. I certainly am anticipating whenever you do release the music videos for those. But on top of that, like I said, another EP that you also released not too long ago, Y2K Dimensions. The aura that you got for this EP, just as a whole, like, good lord, like, what inspired you to get this one going?
Very similar thing. That's kind of all of the things that I've been doing recently, in terms of, like, those EPs. Mm-hmm. Like, Transhumanist kind of, like, kicked it off, but it wasn't really, it didn't really like, it wasn't like one of the like like it didn't conform to the sort of core philosophy of those, which is like, and I mean they don't really at all, because like I keep failing at the main idea, which was to just put out one every Bandcamp Friday, like one per month, and that hasn't really happened.
I mean, music takes time. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's funny because like I made Transhumanist, and then I was like, shit, I got a lot of inspiration, and then I made Confessions, and then didn't make another, and then like 2 weeks later released Confessions, and then didn't do anything else for like another solid few months. But yeah, so as Confessions is very inspired by, or not inspired by, like the genre of it is Hex. In the same manner, Y2K Dimension is a vapor trap EP in the style of like Blank Banshee.
Okay.
And other vapor trap artists, mostly Blank Banshee, but that's just because Blank Banshee is a visionary.
Sorry, I bet you can hear those dogs at this point, can't you?
I can.
Yes. Good Lord. Hold on. You know what? Not much I can control. I'm just going to roll with it.
Can someone please explain to me what this dog is doing?
Now I have to leave it in.
You could just leave in that there were dogs.
No, I'm going to. That's what I meant by that. Anyways,
there's currently, literally as we are recording, there's a URL fest going on that I helped do the visuals for.
Okay.
And the thing that I did all the visuals for is currently playing. I hope people are responding to it well. In the future, I'll know.
In the future, they will know.
I hope there's like a VOD. I should check.
I hope so. Because
I'm gonna message the person organizing it.
Oh man. Anyways, what was I saying? Anyways, but like the vaporwave was like the inspiration from, you said Banshee. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Blank Banshee, yes.
Blank Banshee, gotcha. I guess I need to expose myself to like just more styles of music and such, because good Lord, I listened to this EP and like I was just at ease. I straight up was, especially that final track, Electronic Oasis Neon, or Neon Oasis, whichever way it was. Like that, good Lord, like the amount of time and effort that must have gone into that to just try to get that like perfect vibe. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. It must have taken.
Fun fact about that one. I actually like, most of those were like took a while, and they were like meditative to make. Electronic Oasis Neon, I literally made in like a burst of inspiration in like 5 hours the night before I released the EP. I had a sound, and I thought about it, and then I started making it, and miraculously everything fell into place exactly, not even just how I wanted it to sound, but even better. Like it is one of my favorites from that, and I wasn't really expecting it to be when I made it.
Exactly. Goodness, like that. Good Lord.
But yeah, there's the one song that's like it's completely full of like samples from like old commercials.
Mm-hmm.
And those I had to research and arrange in a specific way to create like the sort of like narrative and message out of like old samples for that takes a while and like a lot of editing. And and still like I just like I had an idea, and then it was there.
There you go.
And then it worked perfectly.
It did.
If it hadn't, it might not have gone on the EP, because I might not have finished it in time.
You know what? That's fair enough. I'm glad it did, because I just want to say, like, especially the EPs that we talked about, like the vibe that I get from you, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way. The vibe that I get from you is like pause menu music for like early 2000s like video games and such. Like, you know how some of the like fighting games, especially, like whenever you have that pause menu, just kind of like the ease or like the flow that they sometimes go with. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so. People often say that my stuff sounds like video game music, and at this point I don't know how to make it not. So I just roll with it.
I mean, nevertheless, like it's a good essential listening experience that I think the viewer should especially take notice of. Especially with, I'm guessing your most recent one, I forget what it's like. I know the one it was. It was like the 14-minute long song that I saw recently. That
it's Tell Me One Last Time Before I Leave.
Tell Me One Last Time Before I Leave. I knew it was something along the lines of that. But like that one, good lord. I saw that. I saw a 14-minute long song and I'm thinking to myself, goodness, Ace, what are you doing with this one?
I made an ambient EP.
I mean, yeah, it certainly is like an ambient thing. I remember trying to listen to it on the way home from work, especially whenever I'm in the dark driving. Probably not the best thing to listen to. But I mean, going back to like my original point, just like
Happens.
Going back to my original point, with all these other EPs, like I'm guessing you had just been recently into ambient music and wanted to make some of your own.
Yeah, I've been into ambient music for like a while, and just sort of never really got around. Whenever I make something ambient, I can never resist the urge to add non-ambient shit to it. I was like, hey, this would sound great with drums.
I mean, I'm sure if you had like a very soft like bass throughout, I'm sure no one would really notice too harshly, maybe.
Perhaps.
But nevertheless, like you're still like producing some amazing music every single time that you like push out something. So I have to ask, obviously, what's next for you when it comes to EPs? You got any like that you're slowly trying to creep towards the beginning of November that we should know about?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I don't know. It's very likely that this may become another sort of
Dry spell?
Not happening opportunity thing. I've got like a few in the wings that I'm still working on that have not reached fruition yet. Namely the 3 that I mentioned that I would have released 7 of total.
Gotcha.
And I'm working on the next one after Biohacker and Transhumanist.
Okay.
So that's fun.
Also,
Got a collection of songs for that one.
I'm still waiting on that rap album that you teased about our last chat.
That's still coming. Hopefully early 2022.
I will definitely be keeping my, I guess, eyes on Twitter for whenever I see that eventually just get released or whatnot.
The A. Smith debut album.
You're just gonna release that with no warning, just like
No, it is going to be the opposite of release with no warning. There is going to be so much warning. There will be nothing but warning.
By the way, there is a song. I don't know how you are when it comes to like samples or whatnot. There's a song I need to introduce you to that I can tell you right now. If
Love
you
samples. Love to do them.
I was gonna say if you either pitch it up or pitch it down, I think it'd be like a great like bass line for a song because I recently got a record player. I'll start by saying that.
Huh.
And when I was ordering something off of Amazon, I decided to do the weird thing and go with prices low to high, and I found like a record for like $5. That's like,
hey, I've done that.
Yeah.
Get the cheapest shit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's actually a really like good song that I'll just go ahead and tell you. It's called Die Happy by Al Man. I forget what the dude's last name is off the top of my head. And the Embraceables. But the song is called Die Happy. And it's a good vibe. It's got like a soul funk mix to it. So just throwing that out there.
Cool. Fun.
But I mean, even then, like, you're producing all this incredible music and such, but you're also still trying to keep up with the Minecraft, avenues projects, yep. I guess. Which, from our last time we were talking, how many concerts have you done? Because I remember there was at least 2 since our last time talking?
I think so.
Because the last time we talked was in April, so...
You are putting too much faith in my brain already.
I was gonna say, think May, June, July, August, September, October.
I think it's been 2 fests.
2 fests.
We did Magma Fest and then we did Neon Lights.
Neon Lights. There we go. Because I remember
unless we'd had Magma Fest done the last time that we recorded, then it would only be 1.
No, we were talking about it though. I do remember that. I remember that distinctly. What was I gonna say? I do remember the Neon Lights one because that was the one that Nat Left at London performed at right after her debut album, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
Yes, which is absolutely wonderful, by the way. If you guys haven't listened to that album, I will recommend that along with any of Ace's stuff. But nevertheless, like, is it? Are you still enjoying yourself with the Minecraft avenues? Like, is it still fun, or are you still trying to?
Hey, I mean, it's I build things for a purpose to create like a thing. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes I'm just doing a thing to serve a higher purpose, and that purpose is getting money to a charity. And that the getting money to a charity part is fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always a fun process. Sometimes it's like arduous, but what isn't?
I mean, it's always going to be a process, especially when you're organizing something like that and trying to get it all together. Nevertheless, I can only imagine, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I can only imagine just like the process of trying to get people to make sure that they can perform for something like that must be, fun on its own.
Yeah. We had a very like sort of that same issue on the thing that we're currently working on. Like we put out so many emails, and for the first time since we started doing this thing, like almost nobody responded.
Oh no.
Like nobody except for the people who like we could just always rely on to get like a set from, who were like always there for us.
Okay. Goodness.
Keeping everything vague because we haven't actually announced it yet, although maybe we will have by the time this episode comes out. I don't know.
I mean, unless you're releasing it by this upcoming Thursday, which is the 21st.
It's very possible.
Very possible. Fair enough. But nevertheless, like, I know you guys are going to put together like an amazing lineup, because every time that you guys put out a concert, like, it's still like incredible, whether it's artists that you do know, like Left at London or Neil Cicerega, or whether it be people that people may not already know, but are still willing to put out some amazing music nevertheless. I was going to say, yes. As someone that is obviously organizing this kind of stuff, I have to ask, if you were given the opportunity, what would be like a dream lineup you would love to have for a concert?
I don't know, honestly. There's a lot of musicians in the world.
That is, yeah.
Like, there could be like any answer that I give, I would later be like, I could have given the better answer to that.
Okay, fine. Let me do this. All right. On the flip side, let's say you have a choice of anyone to be a headliner for one of your Minecraft concerts, and everything like after this decision kind of shapes how the concert, like the rest of the lineup goes. So given the opportunity to pick anyone, who would be your dream headliner for one of these Minecraft concerts?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
I like a lot of artists. Like there's a bunch of like possible concepts. Really, honestly, very likely that we only really like work with like either independent artists or artists that are signed to labels that are themselves independent. Mm-hmm. If you were to get like that, you can't really get a sort of big artist in on this sort of thing without like being in like a bunch of like talks and arrangements and contracts with like actual big record labels and shit.
Right.
That's why we are like we're not open pit. We're not like going and talking with Universal or Atlantic or
Columbia, Sony, all those.
Columbia, all the big ones. The Interscope getting like, the next 100 Gex concert featuring, I don't know. I was trying to think of a big pop star, but every single one immediately slipped out of my mind as soon as I started the sentence.
I relate to that when it comes to just everyday life.
Only thing I thought was Sia, and no.
Yeah, no, hell no. Thank God no. Well, that's why I'm saying, like, if given just like free reign or whatnot, because I'll tell you right now, I could give you a good one, especially for a Minecraft concert. I think it'd be great to have one themed around Brockhampton.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. And like have all the other guests like be someone in relation to them, or like how they perform, how like their style of music or whatnot, and just having like that big crowd feel with just the band alone. Like I think that'd be a fun concert to design everything after.
Fun fact, there is an incredibly minuscule but non-zero chance that might happen with Avenue.
Oh.
Incredibly minuscule.
But it's not. Sorry. So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance. So like sometimes people that we know other people randomly somehow. I don't know how, but it's how we got Neil. It's how we got Car Seat Headrest.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. So, I mean, if there's anyone out there that may or may not
If there's
know
a Will Toledo, there's a way.
So if there's anyone out there that may or may not know anyone from Brockhampton that could potentially do something like that, we're not saying use your influence, but...
Yo, any postmodern art podcast fans who are also influential over Brockhampton,
I'm pretty sure...
please send me an email!
That percentage is probably very minuscule, but not zero.
But not zero!
Not zero! Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, we've been basically just talking about music since we've started.
I do a lot of it. I talk a lot about music. I could for hours.
Well, it's a good thing that you're here because the last time we talked, we teased about a certain discussion that would have gone up on a Patreon if I decided to knuckle down and actually make the Patreon. So, I think it's about time we have the conversation, Ace. There's an artist that I've been dying to talk about on this podcast ever since I've started this podcast. Whether it be I talk to the artist or just talk about them. So we got to talk about Kanye. No, I'm joking. I want to talk about Tyler, the Creator.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Good Lord. Okay, I'll start by asking this. How are you first exposed to Tyler?
I don't remember, honestly. Like, there's a couple artists who are like, like you remember the first time you meet them, or like you hear their songs, and like there's a couple where it's like, I don't know, at some point I heard their music, and then at another point they became an object of my focus. And then at a separate third distinct point, I was a fan.
Well, there you go. I mean,
I think maybe just like based on, like, I think my first Tyler song might have been Who Dat Boy, but it probably wasn't.
Okay. That's fair. I was gonna say
that's the only thing. That's like the first Tyler related memory I can think of is watching that music video.
Yeah, that music video was something else. Like I love the production they had for that one especially. I can say I can remember my first like exposure to him. This is actually back in like 2011, I want to say, because little old me was watching the 2011 MTV Video Music Awards, and if you know those awards, there's an award they give for Best New Artist of the Year, and the winner of that year was Tyler. Which I first seeing him like just, especially that Yonkers video when I first saw that or whatnot. Which ironically enough, I learned after the fact he's not a huge fan of that song. He made that to shit on New York Yet rappers, which is ironic.
Yonkers. I'm sick of hearing about Yonkers.
Yeah, exactly.
As you said.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure he said that like. I think he said that on the same album that Yonkers was on. Either that, I know that he mentioned something about the popularity of Yonkers on the same album that Yonkers was on. That was fun.
I don't know if it was that one. I remember on Wolf there was like a little bit with that, to where it's like it was talking about how he was at like some amusement park or whatnot.
I could talk about that song, that specific song, for a while, because I honestly feel like that is a lot of missed potential. Actually, that specific song.
Really. What makes you say that?
I just feel like there was, like, for some reason, the immediate vibe of it is, like, super, like, introspective. It's, like, the type of thing that would make you think that you're about to listen to a song where you, like, really get to deeply understand him as a person. Mm-hmm. And, like, basically, okay, the song is about how, like, he, like, meets some kid at a carnival who listens to his music and has a crush on him. Mm-hmm. And that's basically it. And there's a lot of potential in there for, like, sort of, like, more, like, rumination on the way that his music had, like, affected people and stuff. And, like, that's because, like, I always thought when I first listened to it that was where he was going to go with it, specifically because he has that, like, really long verse from the perspective of the kid where he's, like, talking about how, you know, hey, your music made me feel like represented in a world that I thought that I couldn't fit into, you know, and then it inspired me to feel dangerous and to, like, you know, I heard this and I heard that and I was like, yo, this is like really me. And, like, I haven't listened to it in a while, so I, like, the specifics are probably I will butcher, but, like, and it doesn't really kind of go anywhere with that, unfortunately. It just kind of, like, is like, and then he kept talking until he said that he was gay and he had a crush on me, and I was like, I'm not gay. And then I went on the roller coaster that the song is named after. And like I thought that there was like more of a potential there, because it's like his Stan, the song by Eminem that the word Stan came from. I realize I probably have to clarify.
Fair.
Like, it's just, I just don't like find it as like compelling as the original song after which it's modeled. It's like how the album Under Pressure by Logic. It just kind of wants to be Good Kid, Mad City, but isn't. And like, I feel like specifically because the concept of the roller coaster as like a larger than life fictionalized experience that is intended to simulate in you because like it's meant to make you feel like you're in danger, but you're not.
Right.
It puts you through like this thing to like this curated, crafted experience to heighten this emotion and make it feel real, which you strap yourself into and entrust your life to. And when I listened to it, I honestly I really thought about that as like a metaphor for like the artist and the person.
I mean,
you know, in terms of like, because like the way the kid was talking about how the music made him feel represented and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that is where the Yonkers, I'm sick of hearing about Yonkers line is from. But he did mention something about Yonkers being popular on the album that Yonkers was on, which was fun.
I'm pretty sure it was probably during one of the therapist skits or
Probably.
whatnot. Probably in that, or the intro maybe. One of the two. Either way, I know that, you know, it's ironic that we're talking about Yonkers, and yet that's probably the one that Tyler hates the most, if there is one that he probably hates. Although, I mean, Tyler is his own individual being. Let's just be honest. What he's going to make or whatnot is going to be, at least for me personally, I love just about everything he's pushed out. Even if, you know, people have their own opinions on certain things. Like, I know Cherry Bomb is, like, very hit or miss with a lot of people. Yeah. I mean, even Tyler said that, like, those years were, like, the ugly phase for him, if that says anything. What was I gonna say? But yeah, what was I gonna say? No, like, I remember my first exposure, like I said, it was at VMAs or whatnot, and like, just like you, there was like the initial exposure, and then I remember Flower Boy came out, and that's whenever I got like reintroduced, and so like listening to Flower Boy and then going back to his back catalog like made me just a huge fan more than anything else.
Yeah, like, because like you mentioned, after you mentioned the Yonkers video, I was like, actually, it might have been the Yonkers video that introduced me. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, good lord, like. The trip that just Tyler has had, just like the wealth of different like just good songs, and the way that he like tells a story sometimes. I don't know about you, but I just can't get enough of it. Is there like a particular? I'll just ask this: is there like a particular song or a particular album that sticks out to you more than any of the others when it comes to Tyler?
I feel like Igor is probably my favorite Tyler project.
Okay.
Like, it's either Igor or Flower Boy, but like I feel like Igor is like a really like a clean like experience beginning to end. Like, it's just like really evocative.
Oh no,
and like it just like it really like works super well from song to song and also as a cohesive whole. It kind of just is like Flower Boy 2 in the way that like it grows upon the themes of that album and like reflects them further, the same way that Call Me If You Get Lost does to Igor itself.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it goes back to what I was saying, just kind of like the way that more or less he tells a story with some of these albums as well, and like getting his message across, like the way that the album flows from like song to song certainly helps with that. Especially with Igor, like that one is just a pure like concept storytelling album from start to finish, like straight up. What was funny is actually that album was the first one I actually bought on vinyl when I got a record player. Listening to it on vinyl is a wholly different experience, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a different song in there.
Well, no, like not just that, because I heard that song with the CD format of it. But no, what I'm talking about is, so with my record player, I don't know if it's like this with all, I imagine it's with all record players, but like you can change like the pitch and shit with it. And like certain songs, especially Running Out of Time, you take that and you turn that pitch all the way down, it's a wholly different song, like straight up. Because one, those heightened vocals or whatnot, all the way down, you hear Tyler like clearly singing, like in his normal pitch or whatnot. So like just hearing him like naturally sing, and then these like slow down beats or whatnot to go along with it, like I fucking love it.
Yeah, as a complete, basically a complete non sequitur, there's this really cool project related to that I really enjoy. It's called Chipmunks on 16 Speed, and it is a project by somebody who like had Alvin and the Chipmunks CDs and a record player with a really low 16 RPM like toggle on it that is like it essentially reverses the process of the process that goes into making Alvin and the Chipmunks songs.
Right.
So whereas Alvin and the Chipmunks songs is like you have the normal song instrumental cover playing in the background where these sped up vocals are singing in all that, like the chipmunk sound from the Witch Doctor song. The Chipmunks on 16 Speed like slows it back down, so what you get is like normal sounding vocals over like these like slow sludgy like a miasma of sound.
Right.
It's so insane how good it is.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Like, I have to ask though, is the singing actually good though, or is it just like?
Yeah,
wow.
it feels like haunting even.
Oh, okay.
Just because, like, there's a certain quality that is given. You know, like I love it because it's all like part and parcel of like what was in the end just like a well-oiled machine of records generated to sell records.
Right.
That like through that point you accidentally created something that was like really 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 good art. And like there is something about like this like genuine like super like pronounced like deep singing that you kind of like have to do in order to make the Chipmunk sped up version sound good, like over these slow dark like haunting chugging like soundscapes of shit that like that it turns into when it's played that slow, that just gives it this like ethereal haunting experience. There's I think my favorite one is their version of Heaven is a Place on Earth, which is 6 minutes long, and somebody described it as a helicopter view of Jonestown littered with bodies, which basically sums it up.
Oh my god, I have to go. You gotta send me a link to that or something, because that
it's insane.
It does sound insane. Goodness, it's amazing what you know.
Ooh, heaven is a place on earth.
Good lord. Oh man, like just even you like describing it is already getting my mind like going, because like I was so good. I was saying, like, I know, like, for them, like, it was kind of unintentional, but, like, I can imagine with a lot of artists, like, when they're intentionally trying to go for, like, a sound like that in one aspect for another, like, it's insane what could be accidentally created in retrospect. Because, like you said, like, no one is expecting anyone to take these Chipmunk albums and slow it all the way down just to hear, like, the actual vocals or whatnot.
Yeah, that's like what happened. Yeah. Basically,
I was gonna say that was
somebody had these Chipmunk albums played at a certain RPM, and they were like, "Hey, I got this weird record player that can play it at what ends up as half the speed that it's intended to be at. Wonder what it sounds like with the normal vocals." And the answer is like sludge metal if it was acoustic.
There you go. I mean, I can imagine that's similar to what I was talking about with like running out of time, because again, like I'm sure you probably aware that you know that song, like, you know, super high pitch, you know, running out of time, running out of time, running out of time. No, like, like, oh my god, like that little part, that part alone, like is fucking like, you know. Especially, like I said, you know, you slow down, running, like, it almost sounds like pure, like, especially the fact that Tyler's, like, basically, like, belting out this stuff, running out of time, and, like, it's Tyler singing, nevertheless, like, that's the part that, like, you know, oh, especially so there's, like, that one part of the song where it's actually, like, him in normal speed or whatnot, but, like, super slow down, take your mask off, like, it's just, fuck.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, exactly.
I've honestly I've never really like tried to sort of. I've always kind of shied away from that sort of that climate of the like, hey, this song with the pitched up vocals that somebody released, but like turned down to normal, just because like usually in those cases it's like an intentional effect that somebody put on for artistic purpose,
right?
That. You know, but like that sounds like something cool, but I haven't like actually seen it myself.
I mean, to be fair,
I heard it, I guess.
And to be fair, I wasn't even trying to find it. I was just fucking around with my record player because I had just gotten it. And I just as soon as that song came on, like I turned down, like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Another thing, Deaf Heaven, the album Sunbather, it's on like it's a weird RPM for an LP. That caused some people who bought it on vinyl to accidentally play it at the wrong RPM, thinking that was the correct one because it's like the most common one.
Right.
And it just turns into like a different sounding thing.
Oh shit. That also
similar to the Sludgefest albums.
Right. And then what was it? I was talking about this with a previous guest, Dave Capdeville. One of Neil Ciceriga's albums. I think it's maybe like word sounds or one of them. I forget which one it is.
Mouth sounds.
Probably the one that doesn't have a quote unquote Smash Mouth sample in it or whatnot. Apparently, if you take it and speed it all the way up, it's actually just All Star playing over the entirety of the album. Because like apparently, like throughout, you can hear the melodic like whistles from the song or whatnot. I forget if that was that one, but nevertheless, like it's cool when artists get to play around and do certain stuff like that, like Tyler, like I was trying to get back to. I have to ask because I know whenever we last talked, there wasn't even an inkling of a hint of the new album. So I have to ask, what do you think of "Call Me If You Get Lost"?
It's really really good.
Thank you. It's slowly like climbing the charts every new listen I give to it because I notice something like different every single time.
I noticed a lot of people are saying that it's becoming their new favorite. Honestly, like I don't think like because like Igor and Flower Boy regularly like trade places as like my favorite album. I don't know that it will ever reach that, but it's still incredible.
Right. I mean. It's good to see more or less like the progression of Tyler throughout this entire time more than anything, especially getting to this point to where he's like, I basically made it, but have I really? Essentially, is how I would best describe this album. Just him saying, I've made it, but have I really?
Yeah. Like, if you consider this the end of, like, a trilogy that started with Flower Boy, like, this is, like, him settling into what he began then.
Yeah.
And at some point, the fact that it was beginning was part of what gave it the quality that I loved so much about it.
Yeah.
And, like, I love that album, Call Me If You Get Lost, but, like, it doesn't have that.
Yeah.
And so I just think on that, just based on that alone, I'll probably always enjoy, like, Igor and Flower Boy more.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's nothing wrong with it. If nothing else, like those two albums alone probably got a lot more people like interested in Tyler than what was previously there. Nothing against any of his old music. Trust me, I still go back and listen to him all the time. Goblin is I especially love how he incorporated the therapist sketches in there. I fucking love that.
Yeah, Goblin's pretty insane. Probably the best of his like early works.
Right. I mean, the fact that like and the thing is, we're only talking about like the music aspect for him, but if you look at him as a whole and like his body of work, whether it be like TV, golf wing, you know, all these different aspects that he's been a part of or whatnot, he's killing it every single opportunity he gets.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but fucking, where is it? I got two, but I got the classic Golf G hat, so.
Nice.
I had to. I feel like I had to. I'm trying to think where I want to take this discussion more or less. Is there like a standout like moment of Tyler, or maybe just like a standout song that you could think of that's just like every time you think of like that little bit, it just gets you like going when it comes to thinking about him?
I think that Gone Gone Thank You is my favorite Tyler song ever. Definitely my favorite on Igor.
Yeah.
It is it's insanely good. The thing that he does where every 10th track on his album is like a two-parter. There was no better like song that you could possibly have done that on than Gone Gone and Thank You. Like they're so perfect together.
Yes.
Telling that whole story. The only thing I wish is that I wish that the little skit from the end of the song before Gone Gone Thank You was at the beginning of Gone Gone Thank You, so you could just listen to it as one and have the beginning context and then go through it. But it's a minor thing. Like it's really such a beautiful piece.
Oh, absolutely. I was gonna say when it comes to Igor, the song that always like is like top for me is Are We Still Friends? The way he ended that fucking album, holy shit. I remember listening to that the first time and I thought there is no way you could ever end an album ever. That was like the best way possible. Fucking like the Roris, you know, freaking, you know, like au revoir, Avida say goodbye, but then also, wait, I can't just fucking end it. What the fuck? Good lord. Is there something that, for you personally, like, whenever you think of Tyler and how he goes about producing or just how he carries himself, that you personally, like, take with you with your own music journey?
Yeah, I do feel like I do take a lot of inspiration from Tyler's production in my own. There's one song on my debut LP that's, it's very similar to a Tyler, the Creator song in its production.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I'm not going to spoil anymore, obviously, but, like, it's it takes after that. There's a couple songs like that, ones that were like very inspired by one song in particular.
Okay, and I also want to ask this, in your personal opinion, do you prefer CD version or I guess like music version, or do you prefer a live version when you listen to a Tyler song?
I haven't listened to all that much live Tyler, so I couldn't answer. Although I do know that after hearing the live performance that he did of New Magic Wand, the original version like just isn't as powerful anymore.
Right.
Like after having heard that whole like I want to be found passenger in your car, after hearing that part like screamed like it was during that performance, like just hearing it regularly rapped just doesn't feel like it feels weaker in comparison.
Absolutely.
You know, it's almost an ignorance is bliss thing. If I hadn't known about it, if I hadn't known the potential that was there.
I was going to say, what was that for me? For me, I think that was, I want to say that was probably like Okra. Whenever he did that at Camp Flognaw 2019. Because he has that one still up on his YouTube channel.
I actually haven't listened to Okra in forever.
Like, the only time I ever really listen to it is when I go back to watch that set. Like I said, it's like an hour-long set or whatnot. But fucking that set is my absolute favorite. And then the only one that comes close to that is the recent Lollapalooza one that he put out as well. Which I will, if you have not heard either of those, I'm going to highly recommend you like just take the time to listen.
I was gonna say, send me those.
Oh, I'm more than happy
send
to.
me them links.
I would be more than happy to. By God, what was it? Freaking, I don't know if you remember this song, Gelato, the one like random song they posted on his YouTube like a couple years back or whatnot. Fucking like I love that song already as it was, but like hearing it live as well, like, oh dear God, it's amazing that I know there might be some like legal things or whatnot, but all the like unreleased or like tease songs that Tyler has had before, he needs to find a way to get those out there one way, one fashion or another. Because like if Gelato is like my favorite out of the unreleased stuff. So like I could just listen to that on a loop if given the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, we never got Wang Sap. I'm still waiting for Wang Sap.
Oh yeah, Wang Sap. Jesus.
I remember watching like the potato salad video in like class in class with my friends when it came out. That was fun.
I wonder what's up with like
The
him
editing
and
the editing on that video is so clean.
Oh my god, you're telling me, like, especially with every little thing that like each of them bring when they're talking about, just how they're able to like insert that in one way or another. What was it, the X's, Y triangles, and O's or whatnot? Like when that's going up the screen or whatnot. Fuck. Also, why was Jaden?
I like the little car that was like animated driving down the road.
Yes, that was great. Also, the random appearance of Yao Ming because it was in the song. Also, why was Jaden there?
He felt like it.
Yeah, he felt like it. Fair enough.
Their dad told them to bring him along.
Yeah.
You can't keep leaving your little brother every time you guys go out and have fun. You gotta bring him along with you to the water park or whatever.
It's like, oh, you guys gotta take him to Paris. Because his dad
Maybe he should have. I feel like maybe Jaden should have done like an intro or something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they had something planned on Wang Sap or whatever, but we just won't know. We won't know yet. I wonder what.
Yeah, I mean, like they did do the pothole collab.
Yeah.
Tyler and Jaden.
That
Really
is-
good song.
That is a good song. I love that song. That's a good song. I'll tell you what my dream collab it is. I've said this a million times over, but I'd love to see Tyler, and I know this is like fairly new name, but I'd like to see what he could do with a Lil Nas X. Like have the two like on a song together. Especially like Montero. I thought he could add like something interesting to that song.
Yeah.
That's just me personally. Is there someone you'd love to see Tyler just collab with just to see what they could produce?
I don't know. I know I'm saying that a lot, but
Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna complain. I mean, I there's it's kind of obvious that I like the two, so I mean, why not?
yeah.
Good lord. I mean, Tyler's already done a lot of great collabs with a lot of interesting artists and such. What was it? The one that was talked about online, Andre 3000. I don't know if you remember hearing about that.
That could definitely be really, really good.
That could be. I was gonna say fuck. Words are wonderful, and also dogs are barking.
True.
Welcome
Both
back,
things.
folks. No, but I mean, like, even then, like, I could probably go on and on when it comes to just Tyler, just how he produces his stuff or whatnot, and all the songs and such. But I also want to bring up just another artist because I know you and I are also a big fan of him as well. Fuck it, I want to talk about Kanye for a little bit. Because why the fuck not? I'll start off by just straight up asking this. What did you think of Donda?
I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan?
I thought it was all right,
Okay.
but like it's like a lot of it was just like uninteresting, repetitive,
Okay.
or just plain unfinished sounding. He took like an extra year to finish the album, and he released an unfinished album.
You know what? That is fair. But I'm gonna at least come somewhat to the defense of Donda. Is it an overbloated, unfinished, and like just completely bad mess at times? Yes, absolutely. But there are some gems in there, in my personal opinion. There are some songs that I cannot get enough of every time I listen to it. Believe What I Say, for example. If they had just got rid of that little speaking part, well, actually the speaking part's fine or whatnot. But like even then, like that's my favorite song off of the album right there. All of the part twos did not need to be on there whatsoever. That seems like a deluxe version thing.
That's the thing. That's part of what it was, because like clearly it's not complete, and they just like shoved the alternate versions of songs on there for whatever reason, just because they were there and they wanted to have both of them on, because Kanye sure as hell couldn't decide which one he wanted on. And yeah, like I feel, because like there's like a lot of the early tracks, the the vocals sound like they were just like sampled straight out of his like live stadium performances of the album, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were.
They probably.
And I remember I was listening to that like Jail and stuff, and I was like, is he going to sound like this the whole album? Thankfully, the answer was no.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's really good songs in there. I'm a Jesus Lord defender. It's a good song.
Okay.
It's also here's the thing, insane verse, like just like one of Kanye's best verses ever. People like say the beat's too repetitive. I don't think it needs anything else. I think it's perfect, like just as a vehicle for his bars. And then it could be finished there, but then it goes into a completely different like J Electronica verse.
Yeah.
And then finishes with like the spoken word outro thing.
Yeah.
It's also the part 2 that I like the least.
Yeah.
Because every other part 2 had like changes to it. Like there's additions to it, but there was also like, you know, one of Kanye's verses would be different. There would be like a different arrangement on something. Like some of the thing, like one of the verses would be gone or shorter or something. Jesus Lord part 2 is just Jesus Lord exactly as it is, no changes, with 3 extra verses in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There it's not necessary. I feel like it could have gone from the Kanye verse into the 3 new verses and then ended, and it would have been a perfectly acceptable part 2 in the same vein as all the other ones.
Right.
Like, even the J Electronica verse could have been there. There was no reason to keep that exact same spoken word outro on both of them. It just wasn't necessary.
No, that was the thing that I was gonna say. Like for me, nothing against the song. I'm one of those that say it's a bit repetitive, but you know everyone has their own individual opinion. It's just way too long on its own. Like I'm sorry. Like I get the spoken outro, and I get that it's like a very sentimental thing more than anything else. But like it's just way too long at the end of the day. when you got all sorts of other songs, half of them being over 5 minutes long as it is. Like Jesus.
Yeah, see, like, I think it, like, works. I don't, like, there's nothing inherently wrong with long songs.
Right.
And I feel like if a song can carry its weight for that length, then it's fine. And I feel like Jesus Lord does.
The issue is whenever you have more than one song on an album, at least, like, half of the songs on there that are over 5 minutes long, and half of them cannot carry the weight. Although I will say, and it's sad that I'm going to say this, what was it, the freaking remote control, that weird sample he used at the end is slowly growing onto me, as sad as it is.
Next you're gonna be like, yo, you know, Television wasn't that bad.
Jesus. Okay, now you're reaching for something.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it. I haven't really been a fan of anything he's put out since Kids See Ghosts, although I am a Ye defender.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's like, it's way too short. It feels like there was not very much effort put into it because he was too busy focusing on his Wyoming session stuff. And there's like filler, which is not necessary on an album that short. But the songs that are there, few as they are really, really good. Yes.
Thank you. Because I thought I was one, everywhere I'm looking, everyone's like, Ye is the worst album. Ye is the worst album. That was before Jesus is King, obviously. But Ye is the worst album.
I was going to say.
But
Jesus is King is clearly the worst album.
Right. But no, like obviously there are, like you said, there are some filler parts. There are some songs that are hard to listen to, obviously. But like Ghost Town, for example, cannot get enough of that song. That song is great.
Here's the thing. The intro track is, I think, one of Kanye's best. Yikes is really good. Yes. No Mistakes is like a really good Drake diss. Ghost Town is super good. There's like the 2 filler tracks in the middle of those, and then I really liked Violent Crimes, but the reason that I liked it so much is how personal it was, and he didn't actually write it, so like it kind of has lost that appeal for me.
Okay, I mean even then, like still, like I find it a good outro song and a good ending song nevertheless, and it's not like it wouldn't be the first time Kanye's had other people collabing to help write a song. So I mean I'm sure
absolutely, but like it's the personal, like how personal that song feels that was a majority of its appeal for me.
Yeah.
And then, He didn't actually. He like it's not. He did. That's not him.
Yeah.
He's just saying it. And like that's fine. But like in terms of when it's something that like up close and personal, it kind of loses the impact.
Right. I'm trying to remember back to your list that you made, because I remember you and I interacted on Twitter with that list of like favorite Kanye songs. Do you remember off the top of your head I'll say this off the top of your head, what is your favorite Kanye song?
I don't know. There's a lot.
No, you're not wrong. That's why.
Good stuff. Like, I don't even remember which ones I answered for each one of those, because I like included that little asterisk list of all of the other songs that could have tied for first place on any of those. I am also, like, I'm not a Jesus is King defender. I am a defender of a few of the songs on Jesus is King. It had some bangers.
Yes, there was a couple songs
like,
on there that were perfectly fine.
Like, Follow God goes hard as shit. The That Ain't Christ-like
I'll say God is the personal one for me.
Yeah, like, the one that everybody hates, the Closed on Sundays one, it's not great, but, like, also, like, you cannot deny that bit where like everything drops out except the little dun 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 synth, and then like he like slowly comes back in and like all the reverb swells and like the
right,
and then like everything comes da 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 da. It's really good. That sounds good.
Like it was good, and then he just ruined everything by adding Chick-fil-A.
And then again, I just say Chick-fil-A anytime anybody mentions Chick-fil-A ever. So point for Kanye. Use This Gospel is good, but knowing that it was originally Law of Attraction,
yeah, kind of ruins the lesson. Which actually brings up another point. I remember, what was it, on Donda, Moon. I forgot that was originally supposed to be on Yandhi.
Yeah, a lot of songs, like a couple of them are.
No,
like,
I remember that.
Like Hurricane.
Right. But
like that was originally a Yandhi leak.
Did you hear the bit that was supposed to be on Yandhi from Moon? Like the Kanye singing that bit?
I think so. I'm pretty sure I've heard every Yandhi leak.
I'm just gonna say right now.
But it was back in 2018, so.
Right, true. But I will say this, like right off the bat, the Moon where Kanye was the one singing, not Kid Cudi. God, it's bad. Oh my God, it's atrocious.
Bad. As opposed to Hurricane, in which the Aunt Clemens version is. The Aunt Clemens Kanye version is so much better than the Weeknd version.
Hey.
I get what the Weeknd version like is, but like once again, kind of loses what was there of it. It's like somebody described it as like something that was once a good song, but sounds like it was just like excessively tampered with by a perfectionist until it was actually ruined by said perfectionism, which is basically what happened.
That's how I feel. What was it? Keep My Spirit Alive. I don't know if you've noticed this, but Kanye went through like this past weekend, tampered with a couple of the songs already, like on digital platforms.
I have not re-listened to it.
Oh well, he did, and Keep My Spirit Alive. You know how it's that like woman singing the chorus bit or whatnot. He took that out and put it with his own singing in it.
Oh yeah, that wasn't recent. That was like a month ago at this point.
Was that a month? That
it was not like super recent. You said it was just like a couple days ago. Like, hold on.
No, it had to be like very recent, because when I was like, I listened. I will be honest. I listened to Donda a good bit or whatnot, and I remember my friend who has like Apple services told me the other day. Yeah, they like took off half the album for like a bit. So it's like my first thought was Kanye's tweet from The Life of Pablo, "I'm fixing wolves."
Yeah, I'm a fix wolves.
I'm a fix wolves.
Ironically, most people prefer the original version of Wolves. Yeah, it was 2.5 weeks ago. I just checked.
Okay, so it wasn't as recent, but yeah.
But yeah, like, although I will say, circling back to what I was going to say, like, Use This Gospel is not as good as Law of Attraction. I love the No Malice verse on there. Literally just like a lot of damaged souls, I done damaged those, and in my arrogance took a camera pose is one of my favorite lines. Possibly, like, that's just one of my favorite bars that I've ever heard.
Oh yeah,
it's so good.
It's always amazing hearing the what was it I saw online? Was it the Kanye iceberg of his unreleased stuff or whatnot? Like, for example, I don't know how popular this is, but like fucking, what was it, Can You Be? I wish that was like tampered with a bit and like released into a real song, because like what little bit was there is like a fucking party anthem if nothing else. But I mean, even then, like, that's kind of, I guess, the aura of Kanye in a sense. Just kind of one of those, like, we know what he can do, like, and while he has released some good stuff, it's the stuff that he doesn't release that we're wondering why. I was gonna say, so you don't have a favorite song? Do you at least have a favorite album, like as a whole?
It changes.
It changes
on the regular.
Fair.
I'd have to. I think probably 808s and Heartbreak.
Okay. No, I get that. Especially with like how emotional that can be at times, but also how entertaining it is.
It's also the only album I don't skip any of the songs on there, even the one that everybody hates with Lil Wayne on it. I don't. It's fine.
Is that RoboCop? That's RoboCop, I think.
No, it's See You in My Nightmares.
Oh, See You in My Nightmares. Gotcha. I was gonna say, honestly, the way you're talking about that one is the way I am with The Life of Pablo. Like, I know people, there are some people that cannot stand it, and there are obviously some songs to miss, but like every time I listen to it, I can't skip it.
Yeah. Life of Pablo had to drag me song by song into enjoying it. I did not like that record when it first came out. I did not like it at all. And then like
not a lot of people did.
Eventually, like literally, I was like, okay, this song from it is like good, and okay, this song from it is good, and like over and over again until eventually I was like, hey, I just like the album now.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's either like I juggle between that one and obviously Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Those are the two that I like go back and forth with. Because, like, let's be honest, like, if you want to talk about, like, the most pure Kanye, that was probably the most pure Kanye we ever got.
Yeah, that was the Kanyeist Kanye.
Yeah. That's the old Kanye everyone clamors for.
That Kanye is the one that would do the Kanye thing everybody memes about to all the other Kanyes.
Exactly. That Kanye would look at the other Kanyes and be like, who are those? Those are not Kanye. I am Kanye.
Well, I mean, every Kanye would do that.
Damn it. Way to destroy the bit, man.
I'm continuing the bit.
Fair enough. I will say, though, fucking his first album, obviously, like that, I could easily listen to that one from start to finish as well. Like, that is a, like, great way to definitely kick off a career, if nothing else.
Yeah, there's a reason that he got so big after it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Actually, no, that reminds me. There was something I was going to mention with Tyler real quickly that I forgot to mention before. Do you know what Tyler's name was before he became Tyler, the Creator?
Tyler Okama?
No, not Tyler Okama. Ace, the Creator.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, like on a... on like a mixtape. I thought you meant like his actual name. Yeah, he like released like one little like mixtape under Ace the Creator.
Yeah.
That's like one of his like it's like one of his alter egos that he did back in like the like he like wrapped it into the thing.
Yeah, the Odd Future thing. As well as like I thought that, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's cool. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh, I wonder if Ace knows about that. Like I don't know how you came up with the name Ace Smith, but I didn't know if that was part of the inspiration or not.
No, it was not.
It was not? What was the inspiration, if I may ask?
It was a character in a book that I named myself after.
Oh, okay. That's nice. That's cool. Appreciate it. I like how we wrapped all this music discussion back around to you, the musician.
Yes, and a book.
And a book.
Because that was the first thing that we talked about was the book.
That was the first thing that we talked about. But honestly, at this point of the conversation, we've been going for quite a while. Is there anything else that you just want to talk about? Because, hey, I'm open for whatever discussion you want.
You always like have a bunch of ideas, and then when you're put on the spot, you can never come up with any. So I don't know, but like, I had the whole idea like when I came on here again, you would just ask me all the same questions as last time, and I just answer them differently because I contain multitudes.
1 second. Let's see if I can find it, because I got this binder with all my questions from the previous ones I've had before. I gotta go digging a little bit because this was back. Let's see. There's a little bit after this. Hold on. There we go. There we go. He is an artist who's expressed himself through music, editing, and gaming for years, making some waves recently within the music department.
We're just doing the entire first episode over again. The whole thing.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to start with the questions again, I want to know the origin stories of A. Smith. What got you interested into music and just art in the first place?
Okay, yeah, that one, I don't know, because, like, I'd say there's only one answer as to the origin, but, like, I don't know how much of it I explored last time. I feel like I did go, like, through the sort of, like, whole story of, like, how I got into music and interested in it, and then interested in making it, and then educated on making it. So there's not really, like, any missing bits there.
Okay. Trying to think where we can go with this conversation now.
Check out the last episode featuring me if you'd like to know more.
Links will be in the description below.
I was in a school, and then I liked the music, and then I made a music because I liked the music, and then I liked to make a music, and so I did more.
Yep. And now you still like to make the music, so you make more.
Wow.
Will it stop?
Insanity.
Lord knows if we know. But yeah, like I said before, is there any other thing that you want to just talk about? Like, again,
Well, that ended quick.
I was gonna say, honestly, at this point, the floor is yours.
I mess up. I can't come up with an alternative answer to one question. You're like, all right, let's ditch the whole project.
Fine. I'll go with. Okay, let's see. Fuck, because we've already. Oh, you might be teasing a potential upcoming EP.
Yeah. The thing is, I already
we already talked about that.
talked about that one. I'm making another
Well,
biohacker and transhumanist. But to be fair, there is another answer there.
There is another answer.
I can give it again.
You can't give it again. Well, I'll tell you what.
I'm working on a rock one.
Oh, you
This one is
are.
rock and roll.
Oh, really? Like how far? I say how far along is this EP? I guess would be the question to ask.
Decently.
Decently. Like, is it one that you're hoping to get out? Hopefully by the beginning of November. Is that the one we were talking about, or
No, that's probably not going to happen.
that's probably not going to happen? Gotcha. So that's probably either December or early 2022.
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
Whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happens, happens. Well, we've been talking for quite a bit. I'll get to this question now. Let's go to the dream scenario. I am Big Shot Mr. Moneybags, and I come. No, is that no? Okay.
You can continue.
Okay. I'm Big Shot Mr. Moneybags. I come to you and I'm like, look, Ace, everything that you're producing is absolutely amazing. We know you have a amazing knowledge of music, and we know that you can produce something amazing. So given connections to anyone and everyone, and more money than there ever should be, Jesus Christ, where's the IRS when you need it? I want to help you create the Dream Ace Smith project. So what would be the Dream Ace Smith project if given the opportunity?
Well, here's like on something like that. So at Avenue, what we do, like, we have like kind of three core philosophies. Like, one of them is to, bring concerts to people who for whatever reason can't access them normally.
Okay.
And then there's, the whole getting people to give money to charity thing. And then there's also exposing small artists to a larger audience through that audience coming for the larger artists. So I feel like I'd probably do the sort of same thing there. I'd work with large artists and also my friends on it.
Okay.
To help them, to sort of help them elevate, use this sort of position of privilege I've been granted to sort of bestow boons upon my fellow man, as the hero's journey go, which is just what I plan to do when I get famous in general.
Basically, nevertheless, you're hoping that with this newfound attention and money, you'd love to elevate the platform of not just yourself and your friends, but for those that are producing amazing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, of course, my friends would come priority. They're my friends, but
Right. I mean, to be fair, what you're describing right there, that's what I want to do with the podcast, honestly. Like, if I could be given the opportunity, like, you'd be up there. I'd love to help give artists that I bring on this podcast and stuff, like, help them out with whatever opportunities they can to help make the stuff that they want to make. Because
yeah, exactly. And so then when the small artists come on, they'll be like, people will come to flock to the podcast because they'll be like, yo, that's the podcast that A. Smith was on.
You know what? I will take that.
I flipped it on you.
Well, I mean, no, as well as I'll take that because what it is, there's an artist I had on here, Will Wood, which I don't know if you ever heard his music before or whatnot, but I highly recommend, especially the Normal album. But Jesus Christ,
I like the name.
I know, right? the people that watch, that is my highest viewed video, like that podcast alone. I've got like 6,000 views on that video.
Nice.
And like, there's a lot of people that know me just because, oh yeah, you're the guy that interviewed Will Wood. I'm like, yeah, that's a thing. So maybe I can get that with the Ace Smith, treatment instead. And I will be more than happy to be like, yeah, I know him.
Yeah, at this point I'm still not famous though, so it'll have to be like when I get like super big and all of like the old fans are like combing through everything that I've ever done in the past.
Just you remember me when you get big and famous, okay?
Hey, I'll be remembering lots.
I hope so. You still haven't forgotten the editing mistake that I made in your last episode.
Simply don't make mistakes.
I try not to, okay? I'm only human. I'm not I'm not transhumanist like you.
Did you almost say transgender?
No, I said transhumanist. That's
I heard a j. I heard a trans j in there.
I stopped because you were trying to say something. That's why I stopped for a second.
Continue.
Anyways, well, sadly, we'll come down from the dream scenario. We'll get back to reality, and I'll ask the ever so generic
there
question.
goes gravity.
Yeah, there goes gravity somewhere. I'll ask the ever so generic question. Where do you hope to see yourself 5 to 10 years from now?
Honestly, I don't know for certain. Potentially in Ohio.
Potentially in why Ohio of all places?
Because I have a lot of friends that live there.
Okay.
And I've realized that it is a potential future place for me to go. I had never considered that as a possibility prior.
I mean,
but it is, there's a distinct possibility that whenever I actually, get out of here and into my own place, that place will be across the United States.
Okay. That's fair.
Eventually.
I mean, fair enough. Hey, I'll tell you right now, I can't speak for Ohio. You'd have to talk to one of the previous guests. What was it? Josh Waters, who's a voice actor on Sheepish. Like he lives in Ohio, but I can tell you right now, there's always a spot for you here in Georgia if you ever want to take that opportunity.
Crash on your couch.
I mean, to be fair, I live with my parents, so it'd be on their couch, not my couch. So,
hey, I mean, I live with my parents, and that's a couch.
Oh, yeah, that is a couch. That is a couch.
Got my own.
There you go. Wow, I just had the biggest brain fart. What the fuck?
Happens.
It happens. Well, I know you answered
this. What's brain do when it sees another brain?
I know, right?
Brainwave.
Brainwave. There you go. I mean, I asked this last time, but I'll go ahead and ask this again. I just have one last question. Well, not the what?
The thing we've been doing.
Fair enough. No. Obviously, art is very important to you. Music is very important to you. So I'll just go ahead and ask this: how important is art, not just for you, but for the world as a whole?
Very.
Very.
I don't know. I'd have to like, hold on. I'll have to think on that because I did already give the answer, like art being what makes people people. I feel like art offers a sort of outlet that otherwise sometimes people would not get to have for themselves. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty cool.
I mean,
just as a whole.
It's another it's another layer to that incredible answer you already gave. So I mean, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, like without it, what would we do? To like express ourselves through whatever medium.
To quote the ever so trashy meme, the earth without art is just eh.
So true.
So true. I mean, with that, that's all the questions that I have for you, Ace. I've already showered you with praise, but I'm gonna shower you with more because it's my podcast. I'm gonna do what I want.
Last time you also asked me about my dream collaboration.
Oh, do you have a different answer this time, if I may ask?
Yeah, last time I said Left at London because of course.
Right.
I feel like I would also one day potentially like to collaborate with Tori Amos.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, she's a singer who is my mom's favorite artist of all time, and my mom introduced me to her.
Okay.
I think that would be cool.
If nothing else, it'd be nice and sentimental more than anything else to have that just kind of, hey, this is someone that, means a lot to me and my family, so why not make something happen? That'd be cool. I'd love to see that. I like that. that, and like I said, the Nat one that we talked about last time, like just any, honestly, this will actually lead to my little next part of, you know, me showering you with praise. Whenever you produce music, Ace, I notice, like, in one aspect or another, because the music you're making is absolutely incredible, and it's something that helps me explore my taste in music as well, because I'm being exposed to stuff that I'd never had before. And I really do appreciate that, because I know that you have a gift of just experimenting and just getting that music right, and I know that you definitely got a love and passion for it on multiple different aspects for it, whether it be the music that you're creating or the ability that you have with these Minecraft Avenue concerts of trying to promote other artists and such. So I want to just personally say thank you for keeping up the good work, man, because it's incredible what you're producing out there, and I honestly anticipate whatever new release you have. Seriously.
Yay.
I really do appreciate it. If this is someone's first time listening to you and not the previous interview, which, again, why have you not listened to that previous one yet? Goodness.
Yeah, a lot of context in that last one.
But nevertheless, if this is their first time being exposed to you, go ahead and plug your stuff for the people at home.
All right. I didn't think this far ahead. You can follow me on Twitter at prod_by_asmith. That might change soon. I've been thinking about changing my ad just because, like, I don't want to be pigeonholed as a prod by.
Gotcha.
And also because apparently usernames are better if they have, like, your name at the front of them rather than something in front of your name.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, it's all been taken.
I'm sure you'll figure something out.
Eventually. Yeah, my Bandcamp, where you can purchase all of my music, is asmith.bandcamp.com. You know, I run a collective of, and we do Minecraft concerts for charity. What is our actual? I realized I don't know our at. I think it's at Avenue Concerts. Yeah, it's at Avenue Concerts.
I mean,
on Twitter.
I was gonna say, I mean, if nothing else, I'll be sure to link everything in the description below.
Yeah. The million links of last episode will reprise again with all of the things that I'm talking about this time.
Right. And a couple of the other shout outs that you gave, like, what was it? Doo-wop or Whoop? What was the one artist? Whoop do, not doo-wop. Whoop do.
Oh my god,
Thank you.
I'm going to start calling them doo-wop now. Thank you.
I'm glad something good could come
Most recently, I've been going with poop poo, but it's time to graduate to doo-wop.
I'm glad I could contribute somehow to this wonderful friendship. Do you have any final words before we sign off?
Apparently not.
I mean, if that's what you want to go out on, okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is this the last time A. Smith will be on the Postmodern Art Podcast? Because I know you haven't really done many third episodes in the future, like so far. Well, I don't know that you've done any.
I haven't done any third episodes because, to be fair, I'm only 54 episodes deep, and not everyone's really asked if they could come on for a second time, let alone a third time. So, with that, I say I'll still wait. No, I'm joking. I mean,
but like. I would be down to return in the future. I don't know, at what frequencies, nor if I would be overstaying my welcome. But hey, I always enjoy hopping onto the podcast and talking music with you for a while. So
I'll tell you what, you let me know when that debut LP is coming out, and you have an open invitation.
Got it.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. A. Smith will definitely return.
In Guardians of the Galaxy.
In Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 29.
Volume 29. They released a new one every month. The first Friday.
I mean, which is better than what you've been doing.
True. They got the Marvel assembly line, kicking their asses to actually get it out on time.
Whether or not it's quality, that's not for us to decide.
I feel like if Kevin Feige was constantly barging into my room being like, "Hey, did you sing on that yet? Did you finish singing?
Sing, Chris, sing!
I need your next song to be about Wanda."
Don't give me that Mario voice, Chris. Don't give me the Mario voice.
Listen, I need you to say what is grief if not love persevering? That needs to be one of your lyrics. And also, I need it this Friday. It needs to be done.
No, you can't shorten it to persevering. It has to be persevering. Did you not listen to how Vision said it? No, you can't sample the original line.
That's the whole point. Yeah, you gotta, you gotta get that shit because, you know, we're on our contract and we're going to replace you in 2 months.
Well, if I'm gonna be replaced,
And also your fans already predicted how you were going to end this album, so we're actually making you do something different.
why does that sound so familiar? Huh. Anyways,
Because it's in every television show and movie ever made now. Hey, you know what? You know another question you asked me last time. What is my hot take on art? Here's mine for this one. That is ruining everything. That is ruining media. The obsession with twists that you couldn't predict because we didn't foreshadow them and they came out of nowhere. It's not. It's bad writing. It creates a bad product. The only thing it gets you is more people going, what? On the day that it comes out and they watch it. It's ruining everything. It ruined Game of Thrones. How do you do that? How do you do that? It was the most beloved series of all time. And then, like, the love, like, kind of went down when they stopped having books to write from, but it was still there. You could have won, and then you had to change everything because everybody was like, I think that they will probably end the story arcs the way that they are setting up the story arcs to be ended. And they were like, how did they do that? They predicted our every move? We can't have this. We're going to change everything. And then it sucked.
any more final words?
Oh, yeah, that was what we were on. Subscribe, like, comment,
There you go.
follow. Make sure to donate to the Matreon.
What page?
Does it make some money?
Don't.
Toss some money in the way of the official Postmodern Art Patreon.
If not to me, go to Tipsy's Patreon because she absolutely deserves it. With that, all I have left to say is hasta luego, mi amigos.
Yeah, that.
Tell me what's wrong, tell me it's parts in motion. Sing me a song, tell me your eyes can all open. Show me it all, pick me up in the car you drove when you used to call. Show me it all.
Thanks for listening to the Apocalypse Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, go to apocalypsepodcastnetwork.com. And remember, every time you support one of our sponsors, you're supporting the podcast you just heard.
I was honestly really grateful to have Ace come back on the podcast. I know he's been a fairly big supporter of me, and I cannot thank him enough for dedicating his time so we could talk about just music, because that's really what it was. I mean, music is a big part of my life, something that helps me get through day by day at times. But nevertheless, like, especially with the music that he's producing, like, I sincerely hope the podcasts like this really get a chance for him to show the world like what he can do, because what he can do is actually like really, really incredible. Like I can only wish to have half the talent he has when it comes to music. So I mean, I'm fine with what I'm good with, which is having a good conversation with people. And I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. I will give you guys a little bit of behind the scenes when it comes to the podcast. This podcast was very like last minute. I've been struggling with a few guests and such for personal reasons. Like it nothing horrible or anything like that. I'm not blaming anyone. It's just, life happens and things get a little chaotic. And things have been getting a little chaotic for me on multiple fronts. With this new job that I'm starting and all these, different guests I'm juggling, whether, they're able to appear or not. Just a lot of stuff with life has really been coming down on me. And, I've been struggling, I'll be honest. I'm thinking about taking a break soon. There's a couple more podcasts I do want to record. I want to make sure that I keep up those obligations. But maybe towards like the end of November, I might take a few weeks off just so I can breathe for a moment. Which, at that point, it'd be around Thanksgiving time. So for America, it's not like it's going to be much of a difference. Like, these are things I think about. These are things I, think about constantly with the podcast and such. Dealing with that stuff. What artists I want to bring on. How I want to promote them. How I want to promote myself. That's another thing. Like, I've been trying to get to on other podcasts when I can and such. That's why, I've talked about some of them before. I just recorded one the other day with, I probably am going to butcher their name. Susias is my favorite. It's for like a podcast month thing or whatnot. It should come out in November. I'll let you guys know when it does. But, I've been in my head a lot lately. And, it's my own personal struggles, my own little cross to bear. Don't want to weigh you guys down. I know you guys aren't here to hear me going to my therapy sessions. Though I should probably start going to therapy sessions. Wait until at least my insurance kicks in. I sincerely hope you guys are having a good day, though. I don't know if you guys are hearing this, I appreciate you sticking to the end, seriously. I wanted to add these little end pieces to add a little bit more of myself with these podcasts. Because as much as it is about the guests, and as much as the guests should be the major highlight, at the end of the day, like, this podcast is a reflection of me, in a sense. Because I'm bringing on artists that either I am learning about, or artists that I love and appreciate and want you guys to know about. And, I want to have that connection with you guys. Because, if I'm enjoying these guests a million times over, and you guys are enjoying these guests a million times over, then we're all in the same boat, and we're all loving and appreciating the artists that are on here. And that's what I hope for with this podcast. I've said a million times before, if you guys have any artists that you would highly recommend on the podcast, please, please, please let me know. Let them know. Hell, I want a community aspect with this podcast. I want people to come together to celebrate these artists, because that's what we should be doing. Especially now with everything going on with the industry, with the IATSE and the strike that they're going to be imposing. By the time of recording this, it probably is in full effect. The strike that they're doing right now. Like, artists in all different aspects deserve that love and respect that they deserve, because without them, we wouldn't have any of this. We wouldn't have any of the... I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that goes with it. But I know that you guys certainly have a love and support for the artists out there. And I want you to keep up that support. If not for me, then for them. Because without you guys, I would just be talking to a void. Which it wouldn't be the first time I've done that. I think I spend more time talking to myself than... who knows? With that, my final words to you guys is, well, it's what I've been reinforcing since day one. Go out there and create something amazing. You'd be absolutely surprised who'd want to be right there with you, loving and supporting what you're doing. I know I certainly will be, especially if I get a chance to see it, because I know that there's going to be a lot of love and passion with what you guys do. I want to see more amazing art out there in the world. I want to see people truly express themselves. I don't want to see them feel bottled up, because it is the worst feeling in the world. Let your passion flow. let it out to the entire world. Someone's going to notice and someone is going to support it. Someone's going to love it because they're right there with you. Don't stop your passion. Just let it go. Let it flow.